Weapons online.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another round of Intersphere Coalition Season 2. My name's Toaster, and I'm here with my good friend Bearclaw this time. What's up, Bearclaw?
Hi.
All right, so
Came to steal your strats.
yeah, Bearclaw's here to steal our strats. And tonight we're going to be catching probably one of the biggest matches of this tournament so far. EmpyreaL versus 228 Blackwatch. So, Bearclaw, you want to run us through these teams?
Well,
No?
I mean, not much to say about these two because, well, they are some of the best teams in the game or in the world. I don't know how to say that. But yeah,
Both
some of
are
the
at.
best players, some of the best strategies, lots of interesting things.
Yeah, so you're playing comp right now for Black Omen, right? So they're been contending, but so EMP, for anyone who's kind of new, they were world champs in 2016 and 2017. Came in second 2018, so they're definitely no slouches, and they're just coming off a win in Martial Olympiad 8s in the NA Div A region. So they're I'd say they're pretty on fire. In the meantime, Blackwatch. They're kind of rebuilding. Is that what you'd say? They've lost some players, gained some new ones, pulled up some talent from their lower div teams, and
I would
uh,
almost say they're like shedding skin, getting the it's in
yeah,
that sort of thing.
yeah. They
Because
can't.
some of their top roster and what the WCs have recently just disappeared or
Yeah,
vanished. I don't know.
disappeared, retired, whatever. I
Yeah,
believe Defunct
stop
at
playing
least is
Mech
doing some
Warrior.
coaching, but but nonetheless, they're still a very talented group of players and a force to be reckoned with. Both of these teams are 3-0, and Blackwatch actually finished third place in the same division as EmpyreaL and Martial Olympiad, so they're no slouches, and they've shown they're capable of taking games off of each other. So it should be a good matchup tonight. So we've
Yeah,
been.
they accept the invite to the lobby. Gee,
Well, it's NA
takes
Div A,
10
right?
years, god
Come
damn it.
on. You should be used to it by now. NA Div A teams, they take their precious time. It's not 10 o'clock yet, so they don't feel any pressure to be here. But anyways, we were looking through some of these teams. So for people who aren't know all these teams by name, who their players are, what their rosters are like, let's start going through what they've been doing well so far for this tournament, and even for Martial Olympiad, since really Martial Olympiad probably has the better information on this teams where they're kind of playing each other a lot more. So what we went through this. Are you looking at the outline?
Yes, I am
Yeah.
staring at.
So what were the favorite mechs that EMP has been bringing to this tournament?
Well, from our list, it's the Black, the Jaeger mech, the Grasshopper, the Wolfhound, and the Vulcan. But the Vulcan has been an all-rounder recently, not just by EMP, but most teams have started to bring that out.
Yeah,
It's a
that mech.
solid 40-tonner.
Yeah, it's really kind of exploded onto the comp scene ever since it was released for C-Bills. It seems really popular. So that's a lot of, with the exception of the Jaeger mech, that's a lot of laser vomit mechs, right, for EMP. So,
Yep.
and especially Vulcan and Wolfhound medium pulse boats for kind of light harassment. What in contrast, Blackwatch, big fan of the Uziel 6P, and we actually in a couple matches, Saruman and I casted. Even the lower div 228 teams seem to really be liking that match. I haven't seen it perform that well, but that might just be an issue of execution, not necessarily strength of the mech. They also been liking the Crab 27B, just pretty solid overall. That mech has gained
Very tanky.
popularity. Yeah.
Zombie. I hate trying to fight that damn thing.
Yeah, those Mercstar crab people, man, they've seemed to have been the ones that really popularized it in my mind. Not that people didn't know about it before them, but they kind of made it their thing. And of course, Blackwatch also liking the Javelin 11A, which is in pretty stark contrast to the Wolfhound. It's got jump jets and medium lasers, but it's also just much less armored. It's a little interesting to me that they'd pick that mech. Then finally, round out their top 4 mech choices. They seem to be also liking the Bushwhacker P2. So Maybe a little more brawly on their side, you know. Black EMP kind of seems to be favoring kind of more mid-ranged heavies with some light medium pulse brawlers. Oh, what do you think? Is that like what's your impression as someone who's actually been playing comp recently? What mechs do you favor just looking at the mechs? You know, what teams mech choices do you like better?
I personally like this mid-range idea coming from EMP, which is, you're not really specified to anything, so you can do or contend with just about any specific, which is interesting. So, say if you come up against a ranged deck, you can be aggressive with mid-range, and say if you come up against a brawling deck, you can sit back and sort of tear them apart as they get closer to you.
Yeah, that's kind of seems to be the hallmark of EMP to me, right? They like always try and play pretty flexible. You know, they tend to hedge toward range, I think, but no, they're not a team that I think you can ever really pin down to, a certain deck or a certain set of strats. They seem to like to just kind of maintain their flexibility and just work with that as best they can.
Yeah, that's their forte is that
All right.
time
I'm
where
getting a message here, Bearclaw.
Mhm.
Your lobby lead, Matt, just messaged me. Says one last bite, his group lead. So just invite him whenever you're ready.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
we do have EMP in here. They've got their 6-man, and we'll get this show on the road as quickly as possible. So going
Right,
back
right.
back to these teams. So we talked about mechs, but then kind of also the other half is the pilots in them, right? Um, I have to say,
Oh, yeah.
I'm very impressed by Chimera. You know, he's kind of fought his way up to becoming one of the top players in the world. I think so. As Chimera player for EMP, kind of pretty unknown, right? He didn't join competitive. I believe he played for the 2323 Reggies in World Championship 16. Um, then kind of clawed his way up to SA, and now has made it to EMP, and he's been showing like stats wise, he's probably the best player on their team, both in Martial Olympiad and in ISC. So he's been putting down some impressive numbers. Now that being said, Bowser, Reckless, Rick Rom, they've all been putting up good numbers in both of these leagues, and part of the match score numbers has to do with the fact that these players tend to play some of the heavier mechs, but they've still just all around got a solid team. Who should people be watching for on Blackwatch?
It's kind of hard to say with their recent roster changes, but from what this piece of paper says,
After our little stat mining
yeah,
expedition.
after our little strat farm. Wait, where is it? I don't see.
Scroll down. It's
Okay, okay.
one last bite, pretty solid. He's apparently leading group tonight, you know. Who
Yes,
else?
and Archon, Adam Steiner, and Totak, the potato. I like that guy's name. He's funny.
Yeah, yeah. But it's weird. Like so EMP's players are pretty consistent like between Martial Olympiad and ISC, right? You have Chimera, Reckless, Rikrom. Reckless didn't do so well and hasn't done so well in ISC so far, but Chimera, Rikrom kind of top in the charts on both those lists. But meanwhile, 228, they've got one last bite, Archon Todak doing really well in Martial Olympiad. But now, like ISC, it seems like Korean Jesus, Dom, and Panic Button are kind of dominating them stat wise, which is interesting to me. Wonder if it's just kind of maybe the mechs they prefer. They're just in ISC and not in Martial Olympiad, or vice versa.
Yeah, it is a big change from MOR8, which involved clad and things like that, where in the regular comp you would see clan mechs, but now it's all IS and it's 6v6. So things are getting really interesting.
So, do you think like does ISC make things like just naturally more short range? Is it like just things more likely to devolve into a brawl, do you think? Or is it, how does that in your mind affect the meta, right? Because, clans, you tend to be seeing just a lot of ER large laser spam and PPCs,
Right.
Goss. What does ISC, like, what is the meta?
I mean, the weapons haven't necessarily changed as far as what they do, but how close you get to them is difference there. and how cool they run is a big deal. But you can still, Pop Tart, PPC Goss, maybe not with the same mechs or to the same degree as clan mechs. The role is still there. It hasn't disappeared, but yeah, it has trended towards brawling and mid range because the extreme ranges you could reach with clans are just not there anymore. Maybe you've got some quirked heavies, but you can't take those heavies every single round.
Yeah, yeah. It's also something worth mentioning too with ISC is like it's an average of 50 tons a person. So if you're trying to get an assault in there, you're really sacrificing team tonnage from some of your other teammates. They're gonna have to be taking some light mechs. Now, granted, the Flea is like a very good performer, and IS actually has a lot of really solid performing light mechs. The Vulcan, Wolfhound, Flea, even the Javelin is probably still like just a top tier light because of its quirks. So maybe that's not such a bad thing. But anyways, as these teams get ready, first map tonight is going to be Mining Collective. We'll play it twice. Then we'll play. Oh, where are my notes? Then we'll play Solaris City twice. Solaris City replacing HPG because, like as you said, people don't like HPG. I don't know. I like the
Yeah.
map, but then again, I
Listen, I
was
don't want to
always.
stand underneath for 15 minutes. Oh, fuck that.
Oh no! So this league is 20-minute timers, so you got a
Oh my
whole
no.
5 extra minutes. Yeah.
See,
So
that's even worse now.
I don't know. I like HPG, but then again, I was like always the guy that got to play on the wall. So maybe that's just bias on my part. I get
Hey,
to be that
it only
guy.
takes one team to make a fuss, and it all goes downhill from there. So yeah,
Yeah. And last
I
map
would almost
is.
say they
Go
did
ahead.
it to themselves that it's got removed.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. The 228 is the team that played the all commit to the wall strat of having the one flea kind of hidden on the ledge. That, let's be real, no
Yeah,
one was ever gonna find that without stream sniping.
exactly. And that led to one thing, and yeah, downhill from there. That's why HPG, bye bye.
Yeah. And the last map, of course, Grim Plexus, a pretty staple. I like how Grim Plexus. It's a very interesting match for 3-cap, but it'll be interesting to see. A lot of teams have started kind of adopting the edge strat, which it's strong, but I do think it can be countered, right? D4 took it to their opponents the other night and brought some lerms and just kind of out DPS'd them where there was basically no real hard cover for their ER large mechs that kind of sat around the edge of the map. So it's definitely shown that it's not like an unbeatable strategy. It's just maybe not an easy one to counter. So these teams are finally getting ready in true NA fashion, almost 10 minutes late from the 10
Three
o'clock
hours
starting
later.
time. And no, and just in, I don't know, some of the people in lobby chat are asking, what happened to Saruman? Saruman just taking some time off from MWO. He may or may not be back. He's got some real personal life stuff going on that just kind of needed to take a break. So hope he starts feeling better, gets things in it, all his ducks in a row. But we're still here to cast MWO comp. We got a lot of casts going on tonight. I know System
All right,
Belmont
I'm
and
gonna cut you off.
Cyclone Jack.
We're
What?
launching the match.
What? We're launching the match. Okay,
Yes, we're
let's
going.
go.
Everybody's ready.
Too much talking.
Roll the credit.
Woo! All right. First map, Mining Collective. It's one of my favorites.
How I do it.
It's such a good map, don't you think?
Yes. Mining is one of those maps where you can play up high or you can play down low. It caters to a lot of play styles, brawling, range, maybe
Yeah.
not so much LRMs, but who knows? We might see some fun stuff from there.
Yeah, that's what I love about some of the old maps. They seem to like really be flexible on what you can do on them, They're so small that brawling can work, but so can just about everything else. All right, looking at the mechs, EmpyreaL got 2 Roughneck 3As, 2 Vulcan 5Ts, a Grasshopper 5H, and a Blackjack 2. So I would guess they're all mid-range laser vomit mechs. Can you tell me what are on those Roughnecks and the Grasshopper?
Let me see.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
on the
we
side
have
of 228, oh, go
large
ahead.
pulse lasers and medium pulse lasers, which is interesting.
Very
I don't know if you took
interesting.
that on both of them. It
228
looks
on the
like
other
both of them
hand.
are running large pulse, medium pulse. Sorry. Keep
Okay,
going.
228's got two Grasshopper 5Js, two 6P Zeals, a Blackjack 3, and a Vulcan. So pretty symmetric decks. 228 opting for the Zeals and Grasshopper focused comp, while EMP kind of shifting towards Roughnecks, and we'll see how that pays off. 228 does have the advantage of like mobility with all the jump jet mechs, but then again, the Uziel hitboxes aren't that great. Got a little bit of a skirmish panic button kind of just running down the line here, straight at Selith and Bowser. And
Yeah,
I
this
don't know,
is
he's
already
kind of
getting
all alone by
slowly panic.
himself. The rest of his team doesn't really have the memo. Bowser's taking some pretty big shots though. The rest of EMP just kind
UAVs
of
are
set
going
up.
out.
Yeah, two UAVs, so panic button should have an idea where Selith is and vice versa. Celt probably wants to start getting out of here, though, because the rest of 228 is bringing some backup. Two Uziel's headed up here. And actually, one last bite sitting up top in his Blackjack, trading PPCs across the way. The EMP mech's kind of set over up on Cakes. What do you think about the
Looks like they were
positioning?
getting ready for that initial push, and then they just got scared off because they realized, oh, it's a concave. We don't want to push into that.
Yeah, for sure. Pushing a concave, always scary, especially when you're against a team as good as EmpyreaL. Repelling pushes is not easy, but they've definitely got it down. Bowser taking down some UAVs with his Blackjack. Is that ER larges on that Blackjack too?
Yeah, double ER large and quad streak forward.
Oh, okay, so that's the loyalty black. I've never seen that in comp before, so that's interesting. Chimera sitting up on Cakes, taking some hits, not too much in the way of damage. Can't really say, which team is winning these trades at this point. It's pretty even, and these trades are going out real
Yeah,
slow.
the
The rough,
percentages are really high right now.
yeah,
Nothing much.
the two Roughnecks on EMP haven't even engaged. They're just kind of hanging back. I guess they're just kind of there as, protect Chimera in his Grasshopper, which is probably a good strategy given the stats that he's been putting up this league. Dom just running all the way back in his Uziel. 228, I guess, is given up on this side. They've moved mechs up to Theta, and they have the 2-cap advantage. So we'll see what they decide to do with it. Or no, the 1-cap advantage. They only have Theta. Never mind. One last
Yeah, the
bite.
thing about these caps is that it takes 20 minutes, so whatever they do, it'll take a while for it to really affect EMP's play. So
Yeah,
they have all the time in the world.
228 started moving their Grasshoppers and most of their main body up to Cakes here. It's a very hard position to push, but they do have the jump jets, so it's a little easier than for most. EMP
Yeah, it looks like
just...
they're trying to go through the tunnel. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is weird.
They're already on the ready side. Uh-oh. These guys are running right into those roughnecks with the Uziels. Uh-oh.
And Gyokuda just eating a ton of fire from these two Roughnecks. He's gonna be iced here pretty soon at this rate. Panic button kind of coming up on the side, and his Vulcan getting some back shots on these Roughnecks, but now 228 has the numbers advantage. Yeah, they're good for it too. They've got all the bonus structure. Dom taking some serious damage, but now it's kind of seems to this fight's swaying back in favor of 228. Magoat eating a lot. Dom looks...
mechs tied up.
Dom goes down. Magoat's still up though, and he's doing a good job of, I say, as he protecting himself. Bowser's shown up in his Blackjack. Gyakuda gets taken down on his Uziel 6P. Totok gets taken down by Rickrom. We've just got Archon and Panic Button really here left in the fight. One last bite kind of being hampered by Selith in the back. Archon just fighting by himself. Panic Button jumps down to go around for the flank. I'm not sure that was worth it, but this looks like it's going to go in favor of EMP.
Yep.
All that's left is one last bite in the PPC Blackjack, and he gets killed. Rip.
That was spicy.
All right, well played to EMP.
2-6, yep.
2-6. There's definitely some very close to death mechs on the side of EMP, but Rickrom managed to survive, and Magoat tanked way down. Well played on their part, protecting those mechs even after receiving the push basically by themselves. They were really the only two mechs shooting down the hallway as 228 pushed up. It was a weird push to me. I'm not sure I liked going down that hallway.
I honestly felt like that was a throwaway. I really do, because no one pushes that tunnel, and when you do, it's always a nightmare.
Not to mention
against EMP, like what?
And you bring all these. Well, the weird thing is you bring all these jump jet mechs, right? And then you take a place where your jump jets are basically useless, right? why not just jump? You know, you can jump straight up over these cakes. It's not an easy jump to make, but you know, at least you can then spread out a little bit. All right, what do you see from the scoreboard, my good sir?
All right, from EMP side, we got Bowser at 293 damage, 1 kill, 5 Selith, dead, 0 kills, 4 assists, 285. Reckless coming in at 1 kill, 5 assists, 309 damage. Rick Rom with 3 kills, 479. That is, yeah, he's MVP for the match.
Yeah, Rookrom
Chimera,
putting out some
yeah,
serious
and his
damage.
Grasshopper, 1 kill, 5 assists, 325 damage. McGoat, 0 kills, 5 assists, 230 damage. And what about 228?
Yeah, what about 228?
Well, this is your part. That's your cue.
Okay, let me look at 228. I'm updating scoreboards right now, Bear Claw.
Hurry up.
Okay, updated. All right, let's look. One last bite, 331 damage. That's pretty respectable Blackjack 3, especially with those PPCs. You know, he was trading most of the match though. Archon 342, not too bad. Panic Button 272. Dom, oh, those are Zeals. They both, you know, 203 for Dom and 176 for the Zeal. I'm not sure that mech choice was the right. And even Totok, you know, 148 in that Grasshopper 5J. I don't think Totok didn't even really lead the push, but you know, I think it's just the fact that he was behind the Uziels in the tunnel. He couldn't really get any shots off, and you know, the Roughnecks had a DPS advantage against those Uziels and pretty much managed to stick them or hurt them pretty severely by the time they even made it to the end of the tunnel. Let's go over to the map strat and kind of draw up what we saw. Yeah, so it was weird. Like I thought 228 was gonna push Delta 5, but I guess they realized, and probably rightly so, that there wasn't really much there. Panic Button at the start of the match, or no. I thought 228 was gonna push Echo 3. Panic Button in his Vulcan kind of ran all the way up here, put up a UAV, scouted that, you know, Reckless was over here along with Bowser, and they put up a UAV themselves, kind of got scared back, but 228 ended up not committing on that push, and they rotated around towards Theta and then up through here. And this is where things got weird to me. 228 opted to go through tunnel into Delta 3, where the two Roughnecks from EMP were just sitting there waiting and like farming shots down the tunnel. Meanwhile, like they gave Chimera plenty of time to rotate his Grasshopper down off of the cakes, and you know, Bowser and Reckless kind of showed back up. Bowser kind of taking the side, and I don't know, it's just a good receive by EmpyreaL and a weird push for me by 228. Like pushing that tunnel is, I don't think it's ever a really good decision. You can send one or two mechs up there, but I think you really, if you want to push that, you got to have enough jump jets so that you can jump like straight up onto cakes. There's a little ledge here too that you can kind of do it.
Well, I feel like their initial push from Echo 4 had the mechs all been similar speed. I feel like they would have caught at least one mech here
Oh, Bear
because
Claw.
they're isolated from the Roughnecks.
Need you to switch the
Oh, shit.
teams.
Right. How do I do
Right.
that?
Just drag people and
Yeah.
replace.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes, we're going switching teams. Next match will also be on this map. Now, I will say, I don't know, this map is fairly balanced, but I will say that the team one does have a bit of a trading advantage in my opinion, just because the cake side Delta 3, Delta 4, that high position is so strong. It's like a lot of really good cover that you can just kind of peek up and over, and it's really hard to push because, you know, getting out of Delta 4 or through Delta 4 is hard. So maybe, you know, 228 just kind of felt they were pigeonholed into being the team that pushed, and you know, they just went for it. But maybe now we'll see them kind of opt for more of a trading game.
Let's
Who
hope so.
knows? Yeah, they need to do something different.
Big teams throw. It is not funny.
Well, I don't know that was. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could argue that it was a throw. Maybe the tunnel push was a bad call. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure they're a competitive team. They're gonna
They'll work on it.
shrug it off. They'll work it off. They're always adjusting, And they're definitely, they've got good players on their team. Like every one of these players, I see them in quick play and I'm like, oh, well, if we kill that guy, then we might win. And if we don't kill him and let him farm too much, we're probably going to lose, right? That
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
said about any NA Div player. So they've earned their position up here, and they're 3-0 for a reason, right? I believe
Yes, definitely.
EMP has not dropped any games in all in the 3 rounds they've played so far, and 228 has only dropped one. But 228, the game they dropped was against their kind of sister team, Wild Ones, the Asia Pacific team. And Wild Ones, they're no slouches themselves. They made it to World Championships in 2016. But looks like all these teams are gonna, take their time, true NA Div A fashion.
Yep.
Also,
Hope
folks,
everyone bought their blankets and pillows. We'll be here for a while.
sweet, yeah. Well, we don't have HPG, so no more.
Yeah, thank God, no fucking fashion shows, right?
I don't know. I enjoyed the fashion show, didn't you?
I did
No,
not.
people won
I
some
was
some MC out of that too. So
I
maybe
was
maybe
on
one of
one of
these
those teams. Sitting down there was boring. Nothing happened. I was very sad.
start telling jokes over comms.
Yeah. I
Blame the
wanted
other
to kill
team.
Max, not stand there in a corner.
And don't we all? But looks like these teams are getting ready. See, some people have checked the ready button, but not too many yet. So after that first match, I'd say EMP came in as the favorites. But what do you think like 228 needs to do this next match to kind of bring things back in their favor? You think their mech choices were good? Do they need to change that? Do they need to kind of opt for more range? What would you do in their position? Other than not push tunnel.
I feel like it's a game of, rock, paper, scissors, basically, if we bring brawling, but like what 228 is known for is that they they like to collectively do things, right? You see that in their mech and you see that in their roles, lights, mediums, heavies, they all do things and can always do things as a group. Or, if they need to push, they can push. If they need to sit back, they can sit back. But I feel like in their case, I would almost say, I know this is gonna sound weird, but I would almost say it's time to find things that can fill certain roles and make them work together. That's the same thing EMP is doing. You saw a blackjack with what
Streaks and ER
what did he say?
larges, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. You've got specific mechs for specific roles, but in any case, they can work together. Say if there's a push, they can counter the push while everybody if they need to push, they can push. But honestly, it's all about,
So
you
you're
know,
saying they need to just focus kind of better on having better synergy? Is that what you're saying?
yes, better synergy with things
Maybe,
that can do other things.
yeah, maybe
Like,
be more aware of kind of what their teammates' mechs are and their
yeah,
ability to be
and
shooting as
how
they
those mechs
close.
work together, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'd say 228 does do that very well, but yeah, maybe they could do it better.
There's
EMP.
always room for improvement,
I will
even on
say,
the highest
yeah,
levels.
EMP just is definitely like one of those teams. They pick some weird mechs, like Bowser. That blackjack was weird, dude. I mean, whatever. Who am I to
All those weird
criticize
mechs, they
Bowser? But they know how to work it together, right?
yeah.
And I think
Like I said,
that's
it's all about
something.
synergy, You take streaks, well, put it with something that, helps from streaks, basically.
Yeah, looks
You
like
got
two two
ranged
eight is
mech.
locked. Waiting
Sorry.
on our South American friend Rick Rom. So yeah, we'll
All
see
the way from
how they
Paraguay.
adjust all the way from Paraguay. Oh,
Yep. He's far away.
he's the only South American player I know, but then again, that's probably just because I'm a potato. So that being
I'm pretty
said,
sure
we'll get
Chrisman was from
is
down there too.
is Krisman South American? I don't know. Krisman's in chat. Let us know, Krisman. Are you South
Yeah.
American? I don't think he was, but I don't know. Um, we'll
Got
get into
people
this
all over
match.
the world.
Get in this match as soon as possible. I will say we've got 2 giveaways tonight. I'll do one after this match for Mech Bay. All you got to do is be active in chat, be around, and message me if you win. Otherwise, I won't give you your code. I'm gonna re-roll it if you don't message me. And don't worry, Bear Claw can't win, so I won't be giving it to any of the mods, because
Don't
little
worry, I have
wreck
plenty of alts.
get wrecked. You have plenty of alt accounts? Oh no.
Yeah.
You just
It's all
borrow
good.
some from Reckless. A giveaway farmer extraordinaire. Okay, Stealth is giving the okay, but Rickrom is not ready. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, taking
Hopefully
their
his internet
time.
did not explode.
I hope. Oh, he hit the
All
button.
right. Yep, ready. All right, let's go.
Let's go. Let's get the show on the road.
I'm trying.
Too
Not
much
working.
talking, and
Yeah, too much talking.
I'm no
Blah, blah,
great
blah,
orator.
blah.
Blah, blah. So will we see the streak and ER large blackjack again? That definitely took me by surprise. I should have paid more attention to the number, because the 3 is the one with all the PPC quirks, right? And that one's also used for MPLs. All right, switching scenes. And my internet is not happy, but
Uh-oh.
we haven't completely lost it yet, so we'll see. Flying in on, oh, I gotta switch the teams. Let me do that real quick. My overlay.
So we've got a Roughneck, 3A, Vulcan 5T. Oh, 2 Roughnecks, 2 Vulcans, a Grasshopper, and a BJ3 from Imperial side again. It's basically the same deck.
Nope. Rip me.
Uh-oh. What happened, Toaster? Did you crash?
I think I fixed it. I fixed it. All right, we're good. All right. So, yeah, Roughneck 3As on the side of Imperial again, Grasshopper 5H, 2 Vulcan 5Ts, and a Blackjack 3 instead of the Blackjack 2. So no more streaks, unfortunately. I guess Bowser opted saying that this was the better Blackjack to bring this round. Meanwhile, 228 has brought 2 Vulcans, still the same, 2 Zeals, a Thanatos this time for Archon instead of the Grasshopper, and Totok and a Grasshopper 5J. So they've kind of set up in the typical position, take the cakes, backspace, yeah, there we go, I can see names now. Totok jumping down though, opting to move forward in his Grasshopper, giving up the high ground, so it looks like they're probably going to push here. EMP.
Yeah, the fun thing about that Archon Thanatos mech is that he's got double heavy Goss. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow mech, but it's definitely very dangerous to some of these lighter ton mechs. 1 or 2 shots and you're effectively crippled, if not dead. Rick Chimera is still sitting back in his Grasshopper 5H, just doing the ER large trading thing. Doesn't look like 228 really wants to trade against him, because they've kind of ceded all of their high positions. Bowser on this side taking some PPC shots at Totok. Selth, gotta be careful, don't want to get caught on Theta, but he ducks out pretty quickly. Couple of strikes going down. Bowser manages to avoid it. Jiffy taking a pretty big hit in that Vulcan though.
It's 76% now. Yikes.
Yikes, yeah,
Drops
yikes
you
indeed.
while running away. Oh, looks like something's happening on the other side.
Yeah, on the left side, Archon is moving up with the Uziel of One Last Bite and Panic Button. Looks like they're trying to chase Chimera off. Chimera smartly bailing out of there before they can get to him. Although the 228 mechs are eating some pretty big strikes right now. Celis harassing over here on the side with his Vulcan. Once again, gotta be careful. One shot from that Thanatos and you could die.
Yeah,
especially if Archon hits a headshot. EMP set up really well to receive this though. If 228 decides to push, they've got their range mechs in the back kind of overwatching, while their tanky or mid-range mechs are kind of sitting in between. Totok has to decide what.
Like Panic is going to counter Bowser here.
Oh, is Panic? Yeah.
No, he's on Theta. Totok and Panic have him.
Yeah, but Panic is outnumbered. Well, I don't know.
Yep.
Totok is very hurt.
On top of Theta right now,
Can you
actually.
Pop into Totok's mech and tell me like what's his health like? Bowser getting shot in the back now by this Vulcan. Oh, that's a heavy PPC Blackjack too, so he's dishing out some serious damage. He doesn't have the DPS, but the longer this fight goes, the better that mech is gonna perform.
Looks like Totok is about to eat dirt here. He's very hurt in the center towards.
Yeah, 228. Oh, and Vexus is moving up to Ice's Totok. He just YOLO'd in, but now he's all by himself. This is really dangerous. I mean, I guess he's a tanky mech, and it's gonna allow EMP to move in. Yeah, Celis is moving in. One Last Bite and getting chased off, but Vexus is still surrounded. Jiffy getting some good back shots in.
Looks like the EMP mechs have come to help him. Oh, there goes
Vexus
Vex.
goes down. Gyokudo goes down too. Definitely in the favor of EMP right now. They've just got such a good surround, and Jiffy kind of stuck trying to get out. One last bite
Oh,
self-destructs.
oh
That is
no!
not what
How
you
did
want
you
to
get?
see. He was a pretty fresh mech from what I saw. He wasn't even getting
Oh,
focused.
yikes!
Jiffy now gets legged in his Vulcan. He's trying to back off, but yeah, EMP's
Oh,
gonna clean
Archon
this up.
Adam's still up.
Yeah, Archon's still up, but
Oh, there go
he's
his
so
torsos.
outnumbered. And yeah,
Yep,
and once he loses those torsos, or once they're
that
opened,
is
even
it for
he's
him.
dead.
Rip.
Rip in peace. Where is Panic Button? Panic Button coming in from the behind. Chimera sees him though, or is aware of him, and yeah, Chimera
Oh,
ices him out.
yikes!
So once again, well played by EMP. Just like showing they can really punish you for your mistakes. And I think Totok getting so hurt early on really hurt the chances of 228 there. He was like pretty cord well before this main engagement start, and EMP saw that and just Vex just ran in there, secured the kill, and then tanked for such a long time.
Yep, bought enough time for his friends to show up and kill the rest of them. Yep, it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, maybe he should have been a little more careful if I were him, but I'm not one. I don't know.
Well, sometimes when you cause a panic, it helps.
Yeah,
To
that's true.
really
That's
throw
true.
yourself in there to.
Feel like he could have accomplished the same goal just going up to the top of the ramp though, maybe not going all the way down. Bowser showing off the min range of his heavy PPCs, not damaging Chimera, but EMP. Yeah, okay.
Reported for friendly fire.
RIP. That says comp anything goes. If you want to help the team, go for it, or the enemy team, go for it.
Yeah,
Um,
especially
EM
when they're all dead.
yeah. What do you see from these damage numbers?
Right. For
Oh,
5 assists, 492. What?
you cut out there for a second.
Oh, okay. I'll read it again. Bowser with the Blackjack 3. 1 kill, 5 assists, 492 damage. Selith dead again. 0 kills, 6 assists, 305 damage. Reckless, the Vulcan, 1 kill, 4 assists, 406 damage. Chimera and the Grasshopper, 1 kill, 5 kills, 5 assists, 413 damage. Rick Rom and the Roughneck, 1 kill, 4 assists, 357 damage. Vexus in the Roughneck, 1 kill, 5 assists, 234 damage. So yeah, that's about it on the EMP side.
Yeah, I give up. Right, these overlays are causing me some difficulty. Yeah, just I think I don't. Well, Rickrom got a bit of team damage there, 49 on his Roughneck, but I don't know. I think just EMP just played once again, just playing a little better tonight. It seems they saw their advantage, took it, and that was kind of all she wrote.
Bait for the
For
on the
the
228 side. Both times you notice they rushed the Grasshopper first, and then the reception. It's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, I mean, 228 had that early aggression, right? Well, I'm gonna head over to the map strat. They had the early aggression kind of forcing Chimera out of his position, right? So Chimera was set up as a team 2 player up here in Delta 6, right? And that's a really good trade, really powerful trading spot. You can shoot kind of all the way down the D line and even some across theta. So what 228 opted to do is they moved Totok down off of these cakes. I guess he realized he wasn't going to be able to outtrade Chimera or something. But they moved him down. Please, Bear Claw, please. Bear Claw, please. Okay.
Sorry, Twitch chat asked. I
Oh
must
no.
reply. Yes, yes.
Don't listen to the hooligans. All right, so 228 pushed up. They kind of pushed all the way into Delta 5, pulling Archon and a New Zealand and Panic Button in the Vulcan all the way down here, right? And, they managed to get Chimera out of the position, but they didn't push fast enough, and he was able to kind of remove over into Echo 6, where he still had, like, pretty strong position, especially given that 228 no longer had any high mechs. Bowser, meanwhile, was just up here farming and eventually moved down to Theta. So EMP had this really nice concave where they had mechs kind of all around this Delta 4 region where most of 228 was congregated. 228 tried to kind of force Bowser and friends off there, but that's when, it was at Totok? or was it Gilakuda?
It was Totak and Panic Button came up there.
Yeah, yeah, and they tried to push him off, but the grasshopper just was losing and got iced. In the meantime, Vexus, or however you want to say his name, he just pushed straight over Delta 4, iced Totok, and then the rest of EMP collapsed and just pushed straight in all around, killing what was left of 228. And Vexus in his rough deck, for as long as he was alone there, he did such a good job just keeping his back to that wall and tanking for his life there. And it was just kind of like a kill box down here in Delta 4. This is not a place where you ever want to be on the receiving end of a push, right? You can kill mechs down in there so easily.
Yep. But
But
notice, this is the second time this has happened. So interesting things are going on.
oh, on the
What
wrong
happened?
thing. Oh, nothing. I switched to the wrong scene. I switched to the map ban scene from Martial Olympiad. Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. I guess I don't know. I feel like 228 should have maybe left their Grasshopper high in Delta 4 to try and trade against Chimera while that push was going on, because it didn't seem like he accomplished anything after he dropped down, really, because he wasn't full in on that push, and he wasn't even able to push Bowser off of Theta when he moved down. It's a little weird. I know EMP, their Chimera was using, I think, a 5H, which does have better heat gen, but it also is lower armored in comparison to the 5J that 228 brought. So maybe 228 should rethink that. Granted, the mounts on the 5J, most of the large lasers in that Grasshopper are in the arms, so maybe he just felt like he couldn't outtrade Chimera from that position. Who knows? But now we're on to Solar City. Looks like we've got some mech changes going on, some roster change or player changes. Magician hopping in, Magician of SJR now playing for EMP. Very solid addition to their team.
Yes, I hear he's a very cool person.
Yeah, and actually Jiffy, newer player on Blackwatch, but look at Jiffy's stats, and he is doing incredible for, I think, his second season with Blackwatch. Played with them, I think, for Martial Olympiad, and now throwing his weight around in ISC here. Well, it'll be interesting to see. Let's switch. Let's do something different for today. I don't have a ton of experience on Solaris City, and you, as someone who's actually practiced with a competitive team recently, you might have some valuable insight to how do you play this map on a 3-cap, right? Do you just accept that there's gonna be a full brawl, right? What do you do?
Well, I feel like in this map, it's close quarters, so I think both teams are going to bring some maybe pulse lasers, medium pulse lasers. We won't see any super long range mechs like those large grasshoppers here.
Not even if you're
will probably be
trying to kite around the edges. Can you kite around the edge on this 3-cap? I don't know. I guess probably not, right?
Yeah, like
you
I
can't
said,
control
I have no idea
Theta.
what this map does.
Yeah.
But we'll see it. Definitely see it today.
Yeah, Martial Olympiad, most of the engagements, ended up being kind of not in the center, but kind of on these like outer lanes in Delta 5, Delta 4, Echo 5, and Echo 4. So maybe that's what we'll see tonight. It is lighter tonnage, and it did seem like, I don't know if you were watching the game last night with Dropship 4, but it seemed like whichever team was the one that pushed into Theta was the team that lost, right? Just because it's easy to get surrounded, and if you're not decisive about pushing in and out of there, which is actually really hard to do because of the choke points, you kind of just get bogged down and picked apart.
Yeah, you put all your eggs in one basket. The Ravens are just going to pick you out.
Yeah.
You abandon all of the map for that one specific center point, and you put yourself in this situation of, I'm getting shot at from multiple angles, and I can only shoot at what's shooting back. So it's that really nasty situation where, oh fuck, what now?
Bearclaw language.
What?
All right, so yeah, and there we've seen some interesting strats. I believe it was Black Omen that Navid and some people stuck their Phoenix Hawks way up on these ledges inside with stealth armor, and They tried to
Yeah,
pick a mech off of EMP, but it didn't really work. But it was an interesting strat. This map's so new that it does kind of lend itself to being more
They're
experimental.
hiding in the trees, Toaster. They're hiding in the trees.
No, and I've had people people meme on me with stealth mechs on this map because they can be so hard to find if they have a ton of jump jets and can be jumping
Yeah, if
around
you're
some of
not
these high
careful, you just
ledges.
get shot in the back when you're capping.
Yeah, yeah. But I kind of expect us to devolve into a brawl though, or at least
Yeah,
mostly
at some
be
point.
some sort of medium pulse, kind of just poke each other apart until one team decides they have an advantage and then go for the kill.
But yeah, one more thing to consider is when these teams are pushing,
When these teams are
you
pushing,
kiss your team goodbye. Yeah, all
you
that
you
armor. See ya.
you cut off after when these teams are pushing, sir.
Really?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Well,
You
fine.
said when these teams are pushing
Yeah,
blank,
if you
kiss
get
your
caught with a strike, you'll kiss your armor goodbye.
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna guess that Bowser, based on his damage numbers, was the one that got some of those beautiful strikes out on 228 last match because
I hate
228.
this microphone.
I'm sorry, Bearclaw, you just got it.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's okay.
Gotta go sell it.
Well, you can just put yourself on voice activation. Maybe that'll work better. I don't know. You don't have a noise gate though, so that might not be a good idea.
Yeah, your loud things in the background.
Yeah, looks
Wild
like
animals.
228 here is locked. Taking another, half hour, 40 minutes, guys, and we've got 2 drops done. Yes! They're like actually going
Yeah,
the
they're
full
speeding
20 minutes per drop. 228 does have their lances locked, so they're good to go as soon as their pilot's ready up. Probably just some last minute, trying to get each other hyped, talk over strats. EMP still waiting on them to lock, and hopefully we can get this going. Oh, I told people I'd do a giveaway, didn't I? Let's do that.
What giveaway? You
Let's
said
do
you were gonna
that.
give me codes. No,
No. Oh.
give me the codes, Toaster.
No codes for you, Bearclaw. See, you're easy to find. You're like the first. As soon as I load all the users, you're the first one in chat. So I
Damn it,
can
Toaster.
just kick you
Give
out.
me free stuff, please.
Easy clap. All right. Okay, volume's not
Okay.
gonna deafen anybody. Who's gonna win? This is for a mech bay. If you do win, let me know, and I will get you your code. My name in Twitch is Toaster TOAST3R. I'm also in the MWO Comp Discord. Let me know. Message me somehow to let me know that you want this code if you win. Oh, Charlemagne! Congratulations, Charlemagne, aka Logan, aka former D5 teammate. Congratulations, you've won. Actually, Charlemagne's not.
Okay, they're ready, Toaster. Come on.
They're ready. Okay, let's
Yeah.
launch.
All right, we're launching.
Hit the button.
Okay, I press the button. There.
Good job. That's what I pay you for. I don't pay
What?
him.
Yeah, he doesn't pay me
I don't
anything.
I don't pay him, chat. I
Liar.
don't even give him codes. Aha, get wrecked. All right, so right now, so far going, it's still in favor of EMP 2-0 so far. 2-8 can still bring it back. I kind of hope they do. I love seeing 3-2 decisions more than 5-0 or 4-1 or anything like that. I want it to be close. So please,
Yeah,
2-8, take my energy. Let's do it.
push tunnel anymore.
Well, I guess there's some garages. Maybe you can push a garage, but it's not quite the same on this map. Anyways, looking at nothing. All right, team display. Hide all the things. Get all the labels out. Hit the dolly cam button. And
Yeah,
we're
buttons
going.
everywhere.
All right, on the side of 228 IBR. This is one mech we didn't talk about, but we did notice they're bringing 2 Cataphract 1Xs, so very tanky mechs, and I'd imagine those are like some sort of AC spam or LB spam, along with a Champion 3N, a Champion 1N2, a Javelin 11A, and a Wolfhound. Can you tell me what are on those cataphracts while I head over?
Cataphract?
Yeah.
Aye, Captain.
In
Impulse lasers, LB10s.
Yeah, on the other side, Chimera and a Warhammer 60, so that's going to probably be Pulse Vomit, Bowser, and a Thunderbolt 5SS, also definitely Pulse Vomit, Rick Rom, and a Roughneck 3A that he's been doing so well in, and Reckless and Magician and Crab 27Bs, so EMP Harden on the Laser Vomit. Xelith over here in a Commando 2D. Is that the stealth one? Can you tell me if Xelith has stealth on that Commando? Because he's going awfully slow.
Oh yeah, he's got stealth armor. There it is.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Triple SRM4 stealth armor.
Yeet. All right.
Double strike, double UAV. Let's see.
All right. Well, meanwhile, panic button, need a pickle, securing the Kappa point. They've put up a UAV, so they're not going to get jumped on. But the rest of the 228 is pretty split. They're very grouped up and kind of.
Like Rickrom is dangerously close to those 4 mechs on
Yeah,
228.
Totok might just eat a face full of lasers as he walks around this corner. And 228, there's a bit of an engagement going on. Bowser taking some big hits. Totok down to 82%. Bowser 87. Dom and I don't know.
Looks like Bowser's being isolated against 3 mechs right now.
Yeah, Bowser's trying to bail, running around the corner, and 228's just pushing in here. It looks like they have the mech advantage, 4v3. But they're ignoring Bowser. He's in the back. Don't let him farm you. Chimera gets killed in the Warhammer though. Advantage 228. Rickrom.
No.
Oh, Jiffy goes down. Rickrom's about to go down, I think. Archon gets killed by Reckless. The rest of EMP has showed up in their crabs, taking some beautiful back shots. And Selith is just doing his best to be an annoyance here in that little commando. So Mech, you hate to focus, but you also don't want to get shot in the back by him. Totok goes down, shot in the back by Bowser.
Still alive, getting
How is Bowser still alive? He was the first focus on that push and just got ignored. Dom goes down in his champion 3N, and now need a pickle. He's chasing Selith, but Selith is just man mode and panic button here. Need a pickle gets legged, and he's down. And now Selith is just picking on this poor javelin.
They left Bowser alive for so long. Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
That was, they had the numbers advantage, but it just didn't end up in their favor. And I think, I didn't see so well, but I think it was just the fact that EMP got their crabs in there faster than 228 could get their Vulcan and Javelin, who'd been off capping, into the fight. And, they just never had an answer to Bowser. I don't know, it's just they got him down to 60%, and then I think they just completely ignored him. I don't think they touched him ever again once he got around that corner, which I'm not sure that was the right choice. Yeah, you want to get on the other heavy mechs, but you maybe just send one person off to kill Bowser so that he's not constantly shooting you in the back like he was.
Yeah, they had the advantage the entire time. Even if they had sent one for Bowser, they would have still had 3 on.
Yeah, 3-on-3, and it seemed like they had a good engagement too, especially with those cataphracts. Those cataphracts, LB10s are going to have a ton of DPS. But that's all she wrote. Another 6-2 kill decision in favor of EmpyreaL. So EmpyreaL going to go on, with a win for this round, but we'll see if 228 can, scrape back a couple of round wins to make their tiebreaker better. What do you see from the scoreboard real quick?
All right, so Selith, 0 kills, 4 assists. Being really annoying. Taking them off target. Oh, it's gone again.
All right, it was OBS. It was OBS.
Fine. Magician in his crab coming in at the end. 1 kill, 196 damage. Reckless, 2 kills, 307. And Bowser, 2 kills, 488. I think that's the top of the match. This Chimera and his Warhammer, 302 damage, and Rick Ramen is Roughneck, 291. Reading these damage numbers.
And especially, you look, like we said, Bowser just allowed to farm there, pulls almost 500 damage in that Thunderbolt. He needed to go down.
More players, and you don't deal with them, they bite you in the ass.
Literally.
Yeah. They burn it off with lasers.
But oh well. Still another match, Solaris. I don't know. I don't know what 228's got to do to bring this back in their favor. Or well, they can bring it back in their favor, but to bring back a couple matches, they seem to just be not winning these engagements. That time their engagement looked good, right? It looked like they had the advantage. And
we switch teams here.
Switch teams, yes, switch teams. Round 3, switch teams, or after round 3, switch teams.
This is the end of round 3. So we're going.
Yep. Switch teams. Do it.
I'm going.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just like the first two games, I think, 228 just didn't engage well. But this time 228 engaged well and they still like just didn't manage to pull it back in their favor. So I don't know what they have to do at this point to start bringing in some wins here against the MP. Maybe it's just drop deck choice. They've seemed to bring some pretty solid mechs, but I don't know. The cataphracts are definitely a little odd to me, but I haven't seen any other teams bringing that mech. It's got a lot of structure and armor, but at the same time, it doesn't have that great hitboxes. It's so easy to shoot the CT on that thing. It's literally as wide as a barn door.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know what they got to do, man. It's some pretty rough drops tonight for 228 Blackwatch, and
But what I'm starting to notice there is hesitancy to push. Especially after those two mining matches where they pushed initially and got punished for it. And, on that corner of Delta 4, they had the advantage. They had 4-3, and they walked by, and then they came back, all the while getting shot, which
that
was a
is true.
very
They
big
did
deal.
they did kind of go back and forth, and that did give Bowser plenty of time to reposition. And you're right, it was like an awful position for EMP to get engaged on, right? They had three
Yeah.
heavies and Echo 4. Bowser kind of broke off towards Theta, while 228 was able to just kind of push straight in. But 228 instead kind of got up to the corner and then said, "Oh, okay, well, we'll sit here, eat a strike for a second, then we'll go in."
Yeah,
And that
that's what really cost them.
and I think 228 or the 228 lights, they were over here. They were on Kappa, right? I believe. I don't know. I might be
I
wrong.
have no idea. Yeah, I don't know where their lights were.
I don't know. Their lights were off and they came in, but it didn't seem like they were ever much of a force to reckon. But I did like it was very noticeable when those crabs came in because those things are so tanky and they immediately I think killed a mech or two, just pushing straight through the back. And of course, South was just working on the light mechs for T28, right? That commando
Yep, all
so
those legs.
tanky, hard to
Mm,
target, and just taking them out, being a little battle baby, was running at people saying "raw."
yep, I love the battle babies. They're so cute.
Yeah,
Deadly, deadly.
deadly, deadly. All right, for the next drop, we're going back to EMP as Team One. So hopefully this overlay will update properly. Um, please I've changed some things with the overlay tonight, guys. So please bear with me. Kirlon doing some amazing work, kind of organizing all these tickers, writing us HTML files to control scoreboards and stuff. It's really nice. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. 228 just kind of it's not their night so far. It seems. EMP just seems like maybe better mech choices and better positioning, better receives. 228 has been the aggressor for most of these, so maybe they want to try and be the team that receives a push and outtrade EMP, force EMP into a position where they have to, run through some choke or something like that. Rekla, need an F in chat for the boys.
Yep,
Twitch chat
yep.
finally catching up.
F's in the chat. F's in the chat,
F's in
boys.
the chat, everybody. No, might be too late
Yikes.
for F's in the chat. EMP taking their sweet time. We're hitting about 20 minutes a drop here, folks. So I don't know if that's good or
Hey, that's
bad,
cool.
but we'll be done
No
before
big
2 hours is up at
deal.
least.
Yeah. And then we've got the interview after, so
Oh
that should be
yeah.
fun. Get some
Uh-huh.
explanations for what's going on here.
Yeah. I want to ask about, some of these mech choices, the Uziel and Cataphract. They don't seem like other teams are using them as much as 228 is, but 228 usually pretty confident in their mech choices. I know they do, a fair bit of internal and external scrimming. I've seen lots of their players in lobbies and going at it all this week. So they've definitely been preparing. It's not a lack of preparation, but I don't know, maybe somewhere the science went wrong.
Let's hope so.
Going back to Solaris, so we were kind of right. Both of these teams favoring, just very pulse and laser vomit heavy kind of brawl mechs. IS medium pulse lasers probably I would say probably the best IS weapon balance wise. Like maybe LB10s kind of compete with it on
Can't say that
next.
out loud, Toaster. Nerf
What?
it. Shh.
Don't. Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
Medium pulses
Mediums
are
are
awful.
bad.
Don't
They're
nerf
bad.
them.
They're awful.
They're so
Yeah.
bad. Please buff them. They need
Yes,
to be
we need
12
a cooldown buff
damage. They
and
need
a
to
range buff as well.
cooldown range, 12 damage. You know, that's what we're looking for here, guys. Just, I want to see wolfhounds with, 50, 60 point alphas, don't you?
Yeah, I know. It'd be great.
Oh,
Instant
yeah.
kills everywhere.
Woo!
Fuck yeah, dude. Woo.
All right. Is EMP ever going to ready up? I don't know.
They're catching up on chat, giggling with us.
All right, EMP switching around some players. Is that Mighty Rant? Mighty Rant
Yes,
stepping
Mighty Rant, Mighty Rant.
in place of Magician. It be what it be. So looks
All
like
right, the teams are
Stealth is
ready.
locked.
Going.
Well, wait, don't launch yet. We got a SCIF 228's locked.
All right.
They
Well, they're
haven't said
ready.
they're
Like,
well, better be safe than sorry here, Bear Claw.
yeah, you're right. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, they're good. We can launch. Let's go.
Now we can go. All right.
I don't want to invalidate one of these drops because casters are potatoes, because that happens enough
we're
as
having
it
too much
is.
fun right now.
I dropped a team on assault mode earlier this week, or last week, or I guess it was Sunday. That was good, Just keeping them on their toes. They scouted it pretty quick. They're like, oh wait, there are no cap points, just bases, or I guess they're base
Yeah.
cap points.
I mean, you could still technically win on a cap.
I guess maybe I'm wrong. PTFO noob. All right.
Oh,
Switching overlays.
I feel like we're having a little too much fun right now.
Why do you think I do this, Bear Claw? I ain't getting paid, let me tell you that. All right. EmpyreaL, once again, 2 Crab 27Bs, Mighty Rant and Reckless, Chimera and the Warhammer 60 again, Rickrom and a Champion 1N. So, I don't know, EMP at least likes that mech enough to bring it. Bowser and a Grasshopper 5H, and Stealth and a Commando 2D. So, can you tell me what's on Bowser's Grasshopper? Because I don't think he'd bring ER larges, but maybe if he's trying to sit
1 large pulse and 6 medium pulse.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile, on the side of 228, they've got 2 Cataphract 1Xs, Champion 1N2, a Zeal 6P, and their 2 light mechs, Dom and a Wolfhound 2, and Panic Button and a Vulcan 5T. They should get a pretty quick scout here, at least a pretty quick cap on Kappa. Meanwhile, Reckless and Mighty Rant are headed over towards that same position in their crabs. But they're definitely at a speed disadvantage. The 228 mechs might get out before they ever arrive. EMP it right now is very split though. They've got kind of 3-pronged attack, kind of all going their own ways. Bowser or Stealth in kind of probably pretty safe in his commando, especially with Stealth on this map. But we'll see what happens to these crabs when they take Kappa. They might get jumped. 228 might try and jump them. They are engaging the well, they were shooting at something. Yeah, Panic Button sitting up top in his Vulcan, kind of doing some cheeky Pop-Tarts, but I don't think he's really winning those trades. 4% versus 2% off each of the crabs.
Stalling the cap on Kappa. Looks like the other 228 mechs are coming in on converging on these crabs.
Oh, yeah, they might just lose these crabs here before they can ever get out. They're turning to run now, but Reckless already down 16%, and the rest of the EMP heavies are not anywhere nearby. Well, okay, I say they're not anywhere nearby, but they're about to round this corner, so the crabs might just turn around here and start tanking this brawl now that they've got some backup. 228 has now stalled, and Reckless and Mighty Rant definitely took a beating on that, so it's definitely still in 228's favor if they can get a good engagement here. They're doubling back around Archon and One Last Bite kind of in the front. And we'll see. EMP's positioning is definitely a lot better now. They've got some kind of wide lines, whereas 228 is very grouped up. But if they can kind of flex around this corner properly, it could still be a good engagement.
And here come those strikes on those choke points.
Yeah, Reckless being pretty aggressive around the back. It looks like he's fighting Toe Talk while the rest of EMP is fighting the main body of 228. Selith now getting in the back, kind of tripping up Dom and One Last Bite in their mechs. Chimera taking a beating. I don't know. Rickrom's got to be careful here. He's so close on that corner.
Really hard.
Yeah, one last bite could go down here any minute, but same time, so could Reckless and Rickrom, who's like right on this corner. Rickrom backing off, 228 pushing, full committing on Bowser. One last bite gets taken down by Selth, man. Selth just bullying them in that commando and somehow
Yep.
still alive. So like 5v1ing people. Mighty Rant and Selth are still in the back there. Totok gets taken down by Chimera. Chimera smartly rotating out. Rickrom pretty fresh in his champion. Takes out Archon, or I don't know, maybe someone else took out Archon, I didn't see. And Jiffy's about to go down in his champion. Dom very low in his Wolfhound. Jiffy goes down. Dom goes down. Panic button. Last one left for 228. So once again, very well played by EMP, but they're so hurt. If 228 had just finished off a few of these mechs, it could have easily gone in their favor.
Hmm.
Man, what a game.
What was interesting is how the EMP mix had kept those 228 heavies around that corner for so long, and when Selith had, let off those two lights and mediums, that they were their focus targets instead of the heavies, because the heavies were hiding behind a corner. And that gave
Yes.
them time to just jabate them and kill them as they ran out for Selith. It's very interesting. I like that.
Yeah. Well, we got some people artificially reducing their match score numbers. Bowser, Chimera shooting each
Uh-oh.
other and teammates. Why are they disarmed Rickrom? Rip his crab. No more little claws for this little buddy. Or oh no, that's a champion. Rip. I'm a potato man.
It's
Yeah,
okay. It
Mighty Rant's
happens to the
off,
best of us.
grabbing Theta, and GG's EMP. What do
Yep.
you see from the match score?
Well, looks like Bowser, 1 kill, 424, and a Grasshopper. Chimera in the Warhammer 60, 1 kill, 536 this time. MVP, MVP. Mighty Rant, 0 kills, 161 damage, and a Crab. Reckless, 0 kills, 384. Selith, dead, one kill, 2 kills, 500 damage. Looks very spicy on the
I mean,
EMP side.
Scylla didn't do that much damage, right? Only 169, but it was enough to pull out a kill. And I don't know, I think
Yeah.
I have to give the MVP to him for that match just because of like how much he disrupted 228. Like they were,
Exactly. He led 2 mechs off into Zimbabwe and they got destroyed.
yeah, that was, I don't know.
So it was a decisive call on his part. He probably said, "Hey, there's a light and medium on me. Somebody shoot this idiot in the back." And that's probably how Totak died. And then he
Yeah.
finished him off as soon as he ran out towards the heavies for cover.
Oh. Yeah, so heading over to the map strat, it was, I don't know, it was another kind of weird match, right? We had, I think it was an engagement at Kappa. Once again, the Crabs, let me, EMP was team one, right? Yes, right. EMP team one pushed their Crabs straight to Kappa. Their heavies kind of went towards Theta. Brecklaw, please. Brecklaw, please.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. You caught me.
So
Fine.
listen to chat. I caught you that time. Bowser
Yeah,
went
yeah, yeah.
Bowser went all the way around. I think he was headed towards Epsilon, but kind of doubled back quickly enough. And yeah, it seemed like 228 had the advantage there, right? They kind of caught the Crabs off at Kappa. But it took them a while to get their heavies into position, right? They had the Vulcan and Wolfhound kind of hang around the Vulcan, shooting down from Echo 3 to stop the cap. And they almost caught the Crabs, right? But the Crabs made it all the way around to Delta 3, and then EMP, the rest of their mechs kind of arrived perfectly in the right position to receive the push, with the Crabs in the front as the tanky mechs and the higher DPS mechs in the back. Now, and because of that, 228, they got struck really hard on that corner and they decided to back off. I'm not sure, I don't know. It's hard to tell whether that was the right decision, right? Because, at once that is an awful position to push into, especially since that is such a narrow path leading up to the where the EMP heavies are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like when they doubled back, they didn't really do anything with it for a while. And EMP, pushing into them from the other side isn't that much better, right?
Yeah, they
They
had
got
all
struck
this time to
again
set
in
up,
this big
and
area,
we
and
were given map control basically because everybody was focused on Kappa. You notice
yeah,
every time they push into this weird choke point, there's a reception deck. right on the end of it, waiting for them. So there's always this, oh shit, I see heavies other way.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like maybe they just overcommitted against those crabs. Maybe that was EMP's plan, right? If our crabs get pushed to Kappa, we can just rotate, to that side
Yeah,
pretty easily into Delta 4 and we got this beautiful concave. Maybe that's
beautiful concave, these two choke points where they get stuck in either way they go. They're kind of trapped there. And I feel like this is another one of those wonderful things. Hey, let's act like we're debating them and then debate them even harder.
yeah. And even where EMP was set up too, they have those kind of two buildings that sit there and that makes it so that like even your receiving team can kind of rotate in and out of cover to get their shots off and cool down and stop being focused. So yeah, it's
One more
just
question. Do
what?
we switch teams for the last one?
Uh, no, we don't.
Okay. Just
Oh,
check.
you gotta change the map too, there, Bricklaw, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going.
So, but that's it for Solaris. Some very interesting matches on Solaris. Definitely showing the strengths of kind of mid-short range laser vomit brawl for IS mechs. But now we're on to Grim Plexus, which tends to play very differently from any of the maps we've seen so far. We've seen a lot of ranged AC2 spam, ER larges being pretty popular just because of how this next map plays. Are my scoreboards updated properly? No, they're not. Rip me. God damn it. God damn. Oh, because I didn't update them. Rip. That's why. That is why. All right. So right now 4-0 advantage to EMP. Um, just not 228 Blackwatch's night. They've got some good players, but seems like they keep getting caught in these weird positions where they make a bad engagement or just lose an engagement that should have been, or at least we think should have been favorable for them. They both teams bring in very similar decks all night. 228 still opting to favor that Uziel some, but I can't really criticize either team's drop decks too heavily. They brought solid mechs. They're kind of all doing the same theme of lots of medium pulse lasers and as many large pulses you can tack on top of that. So I don't know, Bearclaw. I don't know.
It's a mystery. That's what it is. Magic.
Bowser is asking, yes, we'll do an interview after Bowser.
Yes, yes, of course. Always up for interviews.
Yeah.
It's where all of the memes happen. So yeah.
Yeah. I wish. I don't know. We'll get to see how good is Toaster at conducting an interview because if no one else noticed, I usually let Saruman handle that because he's good with that sort of thing. But yeah, both teams setting up. We've seen. I don't know. I'm gonna flip back to the map strat so I can talk about this map. Oh, I keep clicking the map ban button, Bearclaw. I'm a potato.
Why?
So
Not MOR.
Grim Conquest 3 cap. So for 3 cap Conquest, it seems like one of the strongest strategies you can have is to try and control kind of this whole region on the side of the map. Oh, thank you, Bearclaw.
You're welcome.
This whole side,
Sorry,
right?
sorry.
You really on that side, you really try to control F10 and G10 because those positions have a perfect firing line down onto Sigma, down onto Gamma. Now, you can't really easily recap those points, but once you do have those points, and if you control F10 and G10, you can kind of endlessly scratch any mechs coming near those points to prevent those caps from going off. And even if they try
Especially
and
if they try and push in from either
yeah,
G9 or Echo 9, they've got to come through choke points. And, every
yeah,
time 228's in a choke point and EMP's on the other side, bad things happen.
yeah,
It's
bad.
getting kind of.
Yeah, I don't. Bad things have happened for the pushing team every match tonight, which I guess that's not
Makes me wonder
exactly.
if crawling is a good idea nowadays,
Yeah, yeah.
especially with so many mid-range builds and decks that can be made and counter crawling so.
Yeah, what I really want to see is now if this is what the meta has evolved to on this map, right, Bearclaw? what I have to wonder is if you get a mech or 2 or 3 with enough jump jets, do you just jump this wall and YOLO straight over into F10 and G10 and try and brawl them out? I want to see it. I want to see it, or at least see a team scrim it, because I almost think it could work if you think your
Yeah,
team is that predictable.
definitely
Just like
something like
just hard counter stratum, right? If they're set up in F10 and G10 with ER larges or AC2s, you just
yeah,
bring a bunch of griffins and hop over that wall and
it'd be something
run at
interesting to
them.
see. But
Yeah,
if EMP sets a mech up there or up there, they'll see it, and I feel like
yeah.
that's
That's
something we might see, a contingency of some sort.
yeah. That's going to be the hard part, is kind of getting that into position without being,
Without
uh,
being seen from
without being
across the map.
seen, because these teams, they've been setting their heavies and stuff in F10 and G10, but they've also, from what I've seen, done a pretty good job of scouting this area to know, are there heavies coming in either one of these entrances on the H10 or E10 side. So it'll be
Exactly, and
interesting to
it's just
see.
this. What it turns into is just this big ass concave. So I mean, you come in from this area, we see you coming, and we shoot at you.
Yeah.
It's getting very interesting.
And if you've got the range, you can definitely, these are some very long sight lines with very little hard cover, so you can definitely kite things out well if you
Yeah.
do get good scouting info.
If you see a brawl push coming, they're short range, and you just tickle them until they can't move anymore.
Yeah. The other thing we
Big
saw,
deal.
Dropship 4, I don't remember, was it Sky Rangers they played last night? I don't know. Dropship 4 actually pushed in there, but with Lerm mechs against ER larges. And I think they just won by virtue of the fact that they're running these 2 trebuchets with Lerms that just kind of out DPS'd the ER larges of their
Yeah.
opponents. And because there's no hard cover really, right? There's no hard cover like anywhere along this hill. If your opponent, gets a narc mech or some sort of light just kind of in there on you, you just got locks for days. So
Yep.
definitely a
That's it.
lot of
It's over.
innovating that can be done on this map. So I don't know. I love seeing this map in 3 Cap Conquest. It's one of my favorites so far, just because it plays out so differently from how you normally see it.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. I like it.
Yeah. Looks like
Can't
EMP
wait to
is
join you.
locked. 228 still preparing. Oh, but while we do this,
Do you have another giveaway?
I do have another giveaway.
Yeah,
Did
giveaway.
Charlemagne say anything? Did you see him say anything in chat?
What?
I didn't see him say anything in chat.
Oh, you want to re-roll? Yeah, re-roll. Do it. Keep me in there
Um,
this time. Come on.
all right, Charlemagne, you won earlier. I'm gonna give you till the end of this game to get back to me once. If you don't, I'm gonna re-give away your mech bay.
Nah, just re-roll it. It's a mech bay. He has
Oh,
plenty.
okay,
He'll be
okay,
fine.
fine.
Yeah, just he'll be fine. Just
All right,
re-roll.
I'm gonna re-roll a mech bay, and then I'm gonna do the 1000 MC giveaway. So first, this mech bay, let me kick out everybody, all the mods.
No, not me. No,
Oh,
no.
you're long gone, Bear Claw.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm a
start
little late to that.
animation. Yeah, yeah. You gotta speak up quicker so I can ignore you sooner.
Uh,
All right, this is first giveaway for one mech bay. Whisper me on here on Twitch. My name is Toaster. I am active in chat. Active in chat. Dilron. Congratulations. Whisper me. My name's Toaster. TOAST3R. Whisper me. Tell me that you're alive and not a bot, and I'll get you your code. All right. Next giveaway for 1000 MC. You can buy 3 mech bays and a little extra with this. So, who's gonna win? It's not gonna be Bear Claw. It's not gonna be any of the mods because we'll get wrecked. Ba-da-da. So I love this tool that it's like freely available. Lock tools, so nice.
I tried to get it to work once. It broke my computer. I was very sad.
Rip.
Yeah, like blue screen. That was so sad.
Wow. 0 bad apple 0. You've
Yup,
won.
something like
I
that.
hope that's not a bot. I don't think it's a bot. But
Better not
anyways,
be a bot.
0 bad apple or apple bad apple. It's a hard word to say. Congratulations, Whisper Me. My name's Toaster. I'm in chat. I said hi, and I've been saying things. So yeah, let me know that you want your mech bay, and I'll get you your code. Ask 228 if they're locked, and then we'll go.
Yeah, they're all ready.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm just
Ask.
gonna.
All right.
Yeah, I just asked.
Okay.
I'm gonna press the button.
Okay, press the button. All I see is okay locked from Seleth. I'm double checking. I don't trust you. Direct. All right, Tito's ready. Click the launch button.
Okay, all right.
Launch
Fine.
it.
I pressed. God damn it. Yeah, I gotta work on my cursing. My potty mouth is not good.
Gosh,
Bear
Bearclaw, I'm gonna get banned. Banned from
Yep.
casting. Rip you.
Reported. Gee.
Yeah, it's okay. We all slip up sometimes.
Oh no, I do it intentionally. That's the bad part.
What? Don't tell them that. Now you're definitely getting banned. What a potato.
Fuck it.
Oh gosh. There he goes again. All right. All right. My overlay is properly set up. What do we have? All right, for Imperial, we have a Flea 17, a Zeus 7S grass for Chimera. Zeus is loose. All right. A Vexus and a Grasshopper 5P, Celadon and a Blackjack 3, Magician and a Grasshopper 5H, and Bowser and a Wolfhound 2. Bowser and a Light Mag, that's not something you often see. Meanwhile, on the side of 228, they've got Dom and a Roughneck, Archon and a Grasshopper 5J, Gilakuda, sorry, I mispronounce his name all the time, and a Crab, One Last Bite, and a Jaeger mech, Need a Pickle, and Panic Button in Panthers. I really like that mech. I have to say that Panther is a lot of fun. Have you seen what's on that Zeus? I'm not familiar with the 9S. I'm not a master of Zeus's.
It is 5 ER large. Oh, it's 5 ER large lasers. Gross.
Gross. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the dead side one, right? Probably. So
Yeah.
Bowser getting the quick cap on Gamma. Who is it? Somebody getting Kappa for 228 or for EMP. That's Magoat in the Flea. So it looks like 228 is kind of doing the usual kind of ring around towards this one side, strong side of the map, like we expected. And I wonder how EMP is going to counter it. It does seem like Kappa is definitely going to be part of that. As you know, you can almost control one side. EMP headed towards the center of the map, which is a little strange to me, but who knows? I don't know. I don't play with most of these people, so they probably
They're
have
not
something up their
opting for
sleeve.
that F10 push or F10 position.
Yeah. Maybe they feel confident that they can just control Gamma and Kappa, and they don't want
These
to.
last few matches, I'd feel confident. Jeez.
Maybe. Probably. Need a Pickle and
I don't
Panic
know.
Button running straight up to the top of the hill, and their Panthers getting some scouting out, but they don't see any mechs, so 228's got to know something's up by now, and same for EMP. You know, they've just kind of marched all the way across the map. Bowser getting pretty up close in his Wolfhound. He might see some of the 228 mechs crossing here. He's definitely seen, who is this? Dom crossing, I believe, and so he should have a good idea for his team where 228 is set up. Now it's just kind of going to be about how do they respond to this. It doesn't look like
the DPS is a little lower on the 228 side because of those Panthers. They're not the greatest brawlers in the world.
yeah, but they do have the Jaeger mech, so that kind of brings things back in their potential. But yeah, definitely.
Trying to make the jump. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he's got a Blackjack 3, so that's what I'm guessing. He's gonna head up there, be the guy to kind of trade and rock
Toaster, our wishes
228's
are coming
world.
true. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
He's gonna do it. He's
So
gonna do
this
it.
is the one weakness of this wall. People with jump jets can climb it. And oh my gosh, One Last Bite
man.
takes a big hit. Is that to his arm? Can you inspect him and look? Because I don't know what would make him orange
That was
unless.
to his head. His head is almost.
Oh no, he's
Almost got headshot. Yeah.
Okay, so One Last Bite. You got to be very afraid. Seleth's getting struck a lot now and starting to eat some pretty big hits. Down 87%. Nice shot, lol, from One Last Bite. He's a little bit worried probably at this point, but you know, as long as he twists, although that Jaeger mech, it's a kind of a FaceTime mech. Yeah, 228. I'm not sure I agree with what they're doing. They're congregating right against this wall. I guess that does keep the blackjack from shooting them, but at the same time, they can't really receive pushes as well or get as good info. Need a pickle, trying to do some trading from the side in his panther. 228 has secured the 2 cap advantage now, but I don't know. It's see what EMP decides to do from here. Selth once again taking a pretty big shot from Panic. Selth playing a dangerous game, kind of humping over that ridge by himself. And I don't know, EMP, they don't seem like they've committed to anything quite yet. Chimera is still lagging behind here in his Zeus. Magician getting kind of dangerously close. Actually, Bowser, what is Bowser doing here? He's running. Bowser doesn't have jump jets, so he could just get caught here by himself. He takes a nasty burn from Dom, and now he's just got to get out. I guess he's trying to bait for Magician, and Dom backs off. And meanwhile, 228 just getting artied the crap out of their mechs right now. Seleth getting pretty low, 52% in that blackjack. He's probably 1 or 2 shots away from death. Archon trying to Pop-Tart valiantly up there in his Grasshopper. EMP though flexing around the side. BX, Magician, Bowser, they're all here. Magoat's here. Chimera even is here in his Zeus. So it looks like they're gonna push. Are you there? Dom taking some big hits. One last bite. Still, I'd imagine relatively fresh. Most of the damage is on his head. Head tanking for the win. Bowser and Magoat valiantly getting some little peaks and scratch damage in there. It's just kind of a very slow roll push because neither team is like, you know, super brawl deck. Selth still alive somehow up on that ledge. Dom gets taken down in his Grasshopper though. That's not good for 228. Meanwhile, one last bite just laying down the fire, but I'm not sure the Zeus is the one you want to be taking. Oh, one last bite goes down by the Magician. And yeah, this looks like it's going in the favor of EMP pretty handily. You know, Bowser and Selth the most hurt mechs, and well, they're not exactly easy to focus with the way Selth is pop-tarting and Bowser in a Wolfhound. Magician taking a beating here from Archon. Archon takes him out, but now Archon's kind of all here by himself with 3 mechs on him, and he's just trying to twist it off and get out, but gets iced. Panic Button taking out Selth finally in the blackjack, but I think Selth's probably happy with his performance after all the scouting and damage he was dealing early on. Gilakuda gets taken down by Chimera and the Zeus. Panic Button goes down by Panther, by whoever. He was in a Panther. Need a Pickle lost his arm, so now he has to hug his enemies to death. Well played by EMP. I guess he run 30 head armor, lol. I would guess that Convergence is the reason, which is surprising because, you know, that blackjack, imagine. Let's take a look at his corpse. Yep. Side torsos. So maybe the Convergence was just off so that only one of the PPCs hit his head. I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't die from that headshot if both of those heavy PPCs hit him there. One last bite saying he's turned up the armor though. I guess you can you survive 30 damage to the head, Bearclaw? Bearclaw, are you muted? Bearclaw, are you there? Oh, I've lost Bearclaw. Rip in pepperonis. Maybe his mic has died. I don't know. He's still in the Discord, but there's no green lights. So we be solo casting now, boys. EMP valiantly team damaging themselves to lower their match scores. Maybe we should just stop using match scores as a metric because of that. Looking at the team damages and all that sort of things, let me get this up real quick. Bearclaw might be dead. Press F for Bearclaw in chat, folks. I don't know what's happened to him. Looking at these damage numbers. All right, Reckless getting a massive team damage strike. Wait, is Reckless even in this match? Oh gosh. Did it not update properly? God dang it, Bobby. All right. I did. Okay. Let me. Fresh. Okay, there we go. All right, Bowser getting some massive team damage there, 88 in his Wolfhound, but still doing a quite remarkable job. 464 damage in that Wolfhound, so not getting punished for pushing up there kind of alone. Chimera marked pretty good, 384 in his Zeus. Vexus and Celis in the 300s as well. Magician still 274 despite getting killed. And Magoat with 187, but he's a flea, so he got a kill nonetheless. Meanwhile, on the side of 228, we got Panic Button pulling 218 in his Panther. Not bad, especially for a mech that's that low DPS on a map game that short. Need a Pickle, not so hot in his 137 Panther. And I don't know, just damage numbers all around for 228, just a little bit lower than what you saw for EMP. Just kind of virtue of them losing the game, I guess. But Archon and One Last Bite still managing to pull out nearly a 307 for Archon and 280 for the Jaeger mech, so not bad, especially given how quick that Jaeger mech was to go down and the fact that he got headshot. But yeah, we'll get these teams. Bearclaw, I saw a flash, but I can't hear you. Hear you? Hello? Hello? Bearclaw is talking to himself. Rip Bearclaw's mic. Alright, we got Bowser and One Last Bite. Hello, folks. Tell me if you can hear Bearclaw, because I can't hear him. I can hear you guys, though, so... Rip Bearclaw.
No, he's lighting up, no sound.
Yeah, he's lighting up, no sound.
Rip him. Poor guy. He just got a new mic, too. Let me finish updating these my scoreboard, and then I'll get to this. I don't know, just GG's everybody. Well played, both teams. Unfortunately, 5-0 decision in EMP. I'd rather have seen 3-2 in either way, but yeah. There's still some pretty close matches. And a kill or two extra, it could have swung either way. But anyways, so first match, I've got to ask, because I don't think it was really weird. Why did you 228? Why did you push the tunnel? You had all those jump jet mechs. It seemed like you could have tried to kind of jump over top, but you ended up going tunnel and just, I don't know, your Zeals got farmed by those roughnecks, it seemed.
Yeah, I think the plan was that we had seen we knew the Grasshopper was probably going to jump off when we pushed that way. And so I think Panic was wrapping around the back and hoping that people coming up tunnel could pick him as he dropped down and catch the rest of them, which I think everybody could tell on stream and on our team that in hindsight was pretty terrible. And so we said that after the match that, like, yeah, we should have done something differently. I mean, we should have been able to catch Seleth in the back when he dove. But yeah, I mean, we felt like that we had done pretty well up to that point in the match, and then we just kind of walked into our own demise, which was our theme for tonight, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Bowser, mostly what I want to ask you, because you're the mech lab guy. I know that's one of your favorite things about this game. Why the streak 2s and ER large on the blackjack? What was...
First off, it was streak 4s. Thank you.
Oh, streak 4s. Okay, I was
streak 4s. And second off, so we had predicted they would pretty much do exactly what they did. So I didn't want to take an HPPC blackjack in case they were going to be aggressive on the right side or aggressive on me in general. So the idea was, if I have to go down, then I go down fighting. If otherwise, then I still have 860, 880 range ER larges, 50% range to trade with, which I did do an extent. And then the 4 streak 4s actually constitute pretty high DPS in these drops. So especially against like Vulcans and Crabs and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the thought process behind it. It can trade and it can brawl.
Wasn't that like a Huntsman build at some point back in one of the tournaments to kill lights?
I probably, I think so. Yeah, like two ER larges and a bunch of streaks, yeah.
I've seen that mech. It was definitely a Huntsman thing. Weird to see it on a blackjack, but I guess if you think it works, whatever.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Then second match. So 228, you guys pretty early decided to kind of push up, right? I mean, was it Totok that was in the Grasshopper kind of up high? Do you know?
I think. You mean at the start?
At the start, yeah.
Yeah, I think he hooked up.
What was your reasoning behind just kind of immediately giving up that position and pushing up that side of the map? towards EMP and Chimera where his high position? Was it just to try and knock him down and corral for a push? Or?
At the very beginning, we were hoping that they would come over the top of the map, and then have our like heavy gauss and stuff up to bear there. We were worried that not having a Pop-Tart would kind of cost us, and it looked like it did because we didn't really have an option at that point because we didn't have anything that could trade, and so Bowser was just going to keep rotating around the other side of the map, and Chimera could just hold us there. So at that point, we had to make a move to push somebody off. Pushing that Blackjack anywhere when he's on the bottom side of the map was incredibly hard, so we just pushed the Grasshopper off, and then once we did that, I think we just made mistakes on how people engaged.
If you had to redo it again, like what you said, you think you made mistakes. What would you do differently? What would you correct?
I'm pretty sure at least 2 or 3 of our guys were like super beat up before I think it was like Vixius and that Roughneck came over the ramp, which I mean that's just failures right there. And I think we also should have like just consolidated better. Like we probably could have picked the Roughneck without losing 2 people, and we probably should have like had a Pop-Tart or some sort of Overwatch in that deck in the first place.
Okay, fair enough. Bowser, what was the call? Like Vexius seemed like he ran in there maybe a little bit alone and kind of before your team was ready for it, because he seemed isolated for a while. What was the call like going through your comms that was like, oh, we need to go now? Is it just you thought you had an advantage and it was just pedal to the metal?
Honestly, we pretty much just collapsed on them. It was just a really simple collapse move. Like One Last Bite said, we had already done significant damage before the point in which they made a decision in that match. So in our minds, it was pretty much done. And I think it turned out to be pretty much that way. So Vex was aggressive. I don't think we called for him to be aggressive. I don't remember exactly. I don't think we called for him to be that aggressive, but I would say it seems to have worked out.
Yeah, he'd managed to tank for a while, longer than I expected, especially with how he went in. But oh, it's Bearclaw again. Oh. Hey, Bearclaw. We're talking about.
I'm on my phone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
We're talking about drop 2, where kind of EMP just collapsed on 228, kind of down in that kill box. You have any questions about that match, that game?
What I'm curious about is was the Grasshopper, like, did you expect 228 to get jebaited by the Grasshopper hiding up there near those silos? That's what I'm wondering.
Did we expect them to get jebaited? No, but we just put them there because it was Overwatch, pretty much. We didn't expect them to get jebaited or anything.
It's just such a strong spot, you almost can't.
Yeah.
Not put.
I mean, if you don't have long range, you can't do anything else but push that direction. Almost.
Okay.
We really didn't want to. That's why I think you probably saw us idle for a while.
That's fair. I have heard back from the person that won the mech base, so I'll get your code shortly. Yes. Okay. All right. Going on to drop 3, the first Solaris City match. It looked, I have to say, it looked really good and really favorable for 228. Right? You guys kind of caught their heavies 4v3. And I don't know, what were your comms like? Why did you choose to kind of ignore Bowser, let him drop back into Theta? Was it just you thought you could kill the other mechs fast enough that he wouldn't be an issue, or?
I mean, I wasn't in it, so it's hard to say. I can tell you from the comms, like, it was, they're all here, a little bit of debating, which I think is what really cost us, because when they first saw them, they probably could have just turned left and crushed those 3, but I think we walked behind the building for a split second, which gave Bowser the time to pull inside. And then, after that, I don't know. There was a lot of debating and, like, 2020 hindsight. Should somebody have pushed him? Should we have just, like, killed the other 2 faster? Because I think we were just, like, missing shots, wasting damage, taking too long. Somebody probably should have gone for him.
Yeah, I did notice there was a bit of hesitation, but it was just a moment. It still looked like a pretty good engage, but I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say, 2020 hindsight and all that.
We heard that a couple people got backcord, so whether that was from the crabs or it was probably a combination.
I believe I know Bowser was shooting backs, and
I got a lot of fucking back shots. So
I heard.
Yeah, so I don't know, Bowser. kind of going on talking about that match and the next one. The where you guys sent your crabs to Kappa, right? Which seemed like an odd choice to me because they're they're not fast, right? It seemed like you'd be better off sending Seleth and a not stealth commando, or maybe just have them turn stealth off to get the cap.
The crabs are reasonably fast. I don't really know why they kind of went that. The call was basically just to like push their lights off of it, but I guess they overstayed their welcome or something because. I'm honestly not 100% sure. They just kind of went there and it was like, oh, they're pushing that direction. You guys need to go like right now. That was honestly like a big positional misplay, though. To be honest, we should have lost them both, in my opinion, and that would have been a possibly game deciding. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Okay, so it wasn't like an intentional debate them onto Kappa with the crabs and then kind of have your heavies and stuff come. No, it's just
absolutely not. They were definitely not intended to be sacrificed.
I don't. You might be surprised if you go back and watch the overhead footage because I don't know. Me and Bearclaw were somewhat under the impression that it might have been planned to use the crabs as bait because when your heavies did get there, it seemed like pretty ideal positioning, even though the crabs were somewhat beat up.
The crabs had taken so much damage. Like I said, they should have honestly died. In my opinion, there's no reason they should have made it out. They should have both died. And like I said, that would have been game deciding. So it was definitely not intended.
Okay. One last. So you guys, one thing I was a little confused by is you guys have been bringing those cataphracts, right? The 1Xs.
Yeah.
What's like? Is that just a mech you like? Because I don't know. Going through your stats, you guys had brought a lot of Kentaros and stuff like that before. Have you just decided that you like the cataphract better? Is it just because of the tankiness? What is it with that mech?
A lot of Kentaros? Or are you saying we haven't?
I think you have, but
pretty sure we just put LRMs on it.
Oh, okay.
But
fair enough.
No, I mean, I'm sure with this league, every team has the beginning of the season where they're like, here are your like damage soak mechs that just have the big quirk numbers. We picked the cataphract. Seems like some teams pick the roughneck. A lot of people like the Kentaro.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So just
I mean,
the tank mech that you've been
Roughneck's
using.
good, so maybe we'll swap it.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely
DPS, good armor.
Definitely part of this league is kind of sciencing out, with such a restricted pool of mechs. Vulcan definitely seems to be the winner, though.
Yeah, it has been very interesting trying to science out stuff, for sure.
All right, last drop, Grim Plexus, kind of seeing a mix of what we've seen before. One team takes the outside with the what's the word, with their huge range mechs, and then the other team has to somehow force them out, right? It seems like the go-to strat. Why the ER large Panthers though? It seems like if you have one or two ranged heavies, it seems like you're maybe overcommitting. What's the reasoning behind those mechs? I know 228 Blackwatch. It seems like you guys do like that mech, and I have to say, playing that mech, it's a lot of fun, even in solo queue. But you just want all in on the range, or?
Well, our Grasshopper and Roughneck were both brawl.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So that's why. It's basically the idea of all those things really need to do is be able to poke the caps, and we may as well invest more tonnage to rush defense because that's the biggest worry on that map.
Okay, that's
fair. You're going to sit back there.
Yeah, if you only have to be doing scratch damage, you might as well, I guess, kind of offload that duty to your lights. Bowser, you got pretty aggressive there. It seemed was your goal to try and kind of shake 228 up when you went around that corner?
That's exactly right. My goal was to pretty much just make them pause in their steps, potentially make them stop whatever they're doing. However, hindsight, I don't play lights, so it's like that was actually really, really stupidly aggressive on my potentially another mech, and I may have just evaporated from the face of the planet. So that was pretty bad in hindsight, but.
Okay.
I felt like at the time. I felt like it was a risk worth taking. So.
Okay. Was the call? Had the call been made then to push that side, or was the call in reality?
Yeah, the call was made to collapse them when they knew they were in that, or when we knew that they were in that kill box.
Okay. I don't know, Bearclaw, do you have any questions?
Well, the real question is, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Perfect. My phone is working. I mean, my computer's working.
Okay. Technical difficulties.
I was interested in how Selith played his blackjack. Like when he jumped up there, that kind of felt like you guys were expecting them there. And
Yeah, we
just kinda
were
went-
expecting them there, and I caught a roughneck moving right. So, like really pretty early on, to be honest. I don't even think the roughneck saw me. So
yeah.
so we knew they were going that way instantly, and even before that, we had actually predicted they would do that. I feel like
Really?
it's the strat. Yeah, in my opinion, we perfectly predicted you guys would do that. So in my opinion, it's like I guess the strat to beat in a way.
Yeah,
a lot of people do it, and I feel like it can be really effective if done properly.
Yeah, what's funny is
Especially a lot of teams we have played have done that coincidentally. So I think almost every team we played did that. So I'm pretty sure we played what Aces Wild. They did that.
no,
We
you
played
guys.
Cameron's.
I think Dave pulled a
H's,
all in on Kappa against you guys, if I remember watching your stream correctly.
I don't
One more thing.
remember, but I remember it happened multiple times. So.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. We did kind of talk about. We wondered if some team would start like metagaming that strat and like have people do kind of what Selith did and just jump straight up over that wall.
Yeah, it was funny because we were talking about it, and then we saw Selith do it, and we're just like, "Oh, great, cool."
Yeah. But I don't know,
Somebody
Selith.
was reading
I'm not
somebody's
sure
mind. It was
how
awesome.
effective. Do you guys? I don't know, Bowser. Would you have Selith do that again, or have you?
Absolutely,
Do you know?
that was planned.
Okay.
Absolutely, it was 100% planned.
Because it seemed like Selith was eating kind of the bad end of some trades there, but I guess if he was doing a good enough job that you guys liked how much harassment he was getting in there, it might have been worth it.
I think he did fine in that role. Potentially would have replaced the HPPCs with the ER larges to snipe arms and stuff like that, but
Okay.
otherwise, I think it was fine.
Yeah. One last bite. Is there anything you guys now looking back might do differently now that you've kind of seen?
We 100% expected EMP to counter strat the crab rush on that map. Like we were gonna take crab rush for the whole time, and then we were like, that's what we took last time. Let's try out this backside. And then apparently that's what they expected. So I thought that was hilarious that that's what you thought we were gonna take.
Oh, so you guys
planning on running
metagamed
crab
yourself
rush
a
until
little
we got
bit.
to like game 5, and we were like, let's try this. So yeah.
That's interesting. I guess you guys, is that why you guys had been running so many of the Uziels and stuff earlier? You were trying to save your crabs?
We were also afraid that might be a bit of a tell that was unintentional, but no, it's really that just most of the time we ran the Uziel, it was like a scenario where you want the same sort of package as the crab, but with JJs, and the only crab that has the JJs doesn't have the 6th MPL.
Okay.
And the Uziel's hitboxes are pretty nice, at least for the legs, which is what most people are shooting at if you're running Brawl.
Oh, okay. That's
But,
interesting. I guess
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen the Uziel do that well, but I guess it kind of makes sense. It does do something pretty unique for its tonnage. There aren't too many other mechs other than like the Vulcan or the crab that can do it, and the crab doesn't get JJs.
Yeah, so I think as far as what we would have done differently, maybe just try the crab deck.
Okay.
We've found a couple counters to it, but it doesn't. I haven't really seen many of them being played, so maybe it's okay. And I think, yeah, most of the stuff was just failures of like in the moment, like deciding to go down the tunnel, or like people taking too much free damage on mining, just stuff like that. And I mean, EMP likes to play those flexible decks where it's mostly control heavy, and you basically just have to wait until you find a chink in the armor and jump on it. And if all your dudes are beat up before that happens, then you're just gonna get crushed. Yeah, I think maybe insert a Pop-Tart guy or something with range and drop 2. Well, that other one on mining where we didn't have anybody, and better coordination on Solaris City, I guess. I don't know. We got the jump on it both times and just like flubbed the whole game. So
yeah, it happens. It happens. You guys played well tonight. I don't know. 5-0 is I think a bit misleading, but I don't know. Maybe you guys may have a chance to play them again. I don't really know how the league's gonna play out.
Yeah, that's see how it looks.
But anyways, GG's to both of you guys. Thanks for the interview. Always interesting to hear what you guys have to say. And thanks for the great games. It was good matches to watch. Bowser, did you stream it, by the way?
I did.
Okay, so if anyone wants to go watch back some first-person perspective stuff, and I think Bowser doesn't even mute comms, so go check out his channel, Bowser1313, I believe.
I mute comms in between drops.
Well, yeah, in between drops, but not during a match.
The bad mouthing our team. hurting our feelings.
Yeah, I don't think any of the 228 players. Maybe did Need a Pickle stream? Maybe.
I don't think he did. I
Okay.
don't think he was in all the drops either. So.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, I don't think we quite have the 228 perspective, but seeing one first person
Someday
per
we'll get
tap.
like a string of people so that we have at least one cast going in every drop.
That would be cool. Anyways, I don't know. I guess Bowser, you have any last words to say?
I do not. Thank you for 228 for the games.
Yeah, GG's, well played.
Yeah, one last bite.
you.
You have anything you want to say to Bowser or Twitch or anybody?
I don't know. We're gonna suck less next time.
All right.
Yeah, awesome.
I mean, that is the goal of any comp player, I'm sure. Just be better than you were last time.
Yep.
But anyways, that's it for me. I don't have anything to say. Bricklaw, you have any last words?
No.
No.
Just hope my mic is working.
Your mic is working. I can hear you.
It is working.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been another cast here by Toaster and Bearclaw this time. See you later for more ISC action. There may still be a game going on MWO Leagues 3, but if not, just check out VODs. There are tons of VODs going up every day. Goodbye.
See ya.